fun today. We got to play Beer and Bread by Capstone Games. But before we start talking about Beer and Bread, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell because you love board games.
Or beer or bread.
More like board games. We would really great appreciate it. So, Randy, can you tell us more about Beer and Bread?
The game or the actual topics of beer and bread?
You don't know anything about beer
nor
bread, so...
I know about bread. What are you talking about?
You would like it with plenty of gluten.
Plenty of gluten and lots of cinnamon and sugary goodness on it. Beer and Bread is a 2022 release. It has a Board Game Geek rating of 7.5 and a rank of 2839. It's a two-player game exclusively, 30 to 45 minutes, age 10 and up, which... That's actually a little young compared to what I would have expected, because usually these are the 14 and up when you start getting these complex strategy rules, but 10 and up...
I don't think it was that complex or strategy, but I do think it... With it being cards, beer, I think maybe they should have upped it a little bit. But yeah. I'm a little more conservative than most as far as what, I think for kids, so...
Design is by Scott Alms, who is known for the Tiny Epic series. Art by Michael Menzel, which I didn't strike me. I knew the name sounded familiar, but when I looked at the art and then I looked on his profile, it's like, oh, he did Dominion's art. And I play Dominion like crazy, so I'm like, yeah, now I see it. It looks like Dominion art. He did My City, Rococo, the art for the Stone Age, so lots of different games. Published, as you mentioned, by Capstone Games in the U.S., but also by Deep Print Games. The MSRP on this is $34.95. Now, you can choose. You can go to Miniature Market and get this for $26.99. You can get it at Card House for $24.39. Or you can go to Amazon with Prime, free shipping, for $43.46. Now, I don't know why they're selling it for $8 more. That I still don't agree with your answer.
It's the shipping. They hide the shipping. Right. It's not,
don't go to Amazon. Go to Card House, go to Miniature Market if you want. Don't go to Amazon. Yeah, $43.46 for a $34.95 MSRP is gouging. So that is
literally they just added shipping to the retail price.
But you're paying for Prime. If you're paying for Prime, you're getting the shipping, and
you're not actually getting the shipping with that.
Amazon is ripping you off. Do not go to Amazon for this one.
I don't recommend that. Go to your local gaming store if you're going to pay that.
Yeah, go to your local gaming store.
Yeah, if you're going to pay overage, you might as well just pay. Just go to your local gaming store. If you're going to pay full retail, do them a favor. Support them. All right, so let's talk about quality of components. So you got hops, you've got barley.
I think that's wheat. That's barley.
No, that's wheat.
Okay, it's orange wheat.
I don't know what this is.
Twigs.
Twigs.
You make your beer how you want.
Okay, and then we got water. Okay. So, but we do have, and we have this little, what is the windmill for?
That's first player market.
Okay, cool. The board is actually, I really think the board's kind of really nice quality. I really like it.
But it's folded threefold, and it doesn't lay flat nicely on the table. But where it does lay flat, it was a problem trying to slide cards, because you're supposed to slide cards underneath it, which is a really cool feature of the game. But it's like when you get down to the end, it's actually flush with the table. It's hard to slide the cards underneath. So yeah, I like the board. It looks pretty. I think the functionality is a little lacking. It'd been nice if it had some kind of way of where it was thinner in some of the areas where the cards were. We've seen some boards where you could slip it.
Yeah. Or a lift where the gaps are maybe. I don't know. You figure that one out. Who knows? All right. So overall quality. Card quality. No linen finish. I'm going to give this a 6. I don't feel bad about that.
I'm going to go a little higher. I'm going to go a 7 because I like the custom wood cuts, and the insert for this game is really well done.
Okay, fair enough.
One of the cooler inserts. It's got the art in there. They got room for sleeved cards. They got room over here for all your pieces, your wooden bits, and your score pad. And yeah, I think it's a really well designed insert for a board game.
Okay, with that one, I'll give you a 7. I didn't see that over there because normally you get the games in and out. I don't actually participate in that endeavor.
Yeah, I have to do all the work.
It's called division of labor. Well, you don't have to cook, so that works out for you. All right, so Anyway, so that's the quality of components. Now let's talk about theme. The theme is that you are on one side of the river and you are trying to create, you've got two little factories going on and you're trying to create some beer and some bread because that's your city needs that.
Due to inconvenient planning, you built right across the river from a competing beer and bread.
Yes, and you guys use the same farms to get your stuff.
Yes. So I'm manufacturing the cheap end of the stuff and sending it out. You're doing the high quality.
That's pretty much what happened. But overall, theme-wise, the artwork's really pretty. I think they did a great job with the art. The card art is kind of generic, but I think it's still good quality. Yeah. And they have different, so like there are certain mugs, they do different kinds of breads.
Which is relevant to the gameplay.
Yeah, because it has to do with set collection. I didn't notice that until well into the game. I was like, hey, these breads are different, because I was just looking at the color of the card to kind of notate that.
I'm pretty sure I won this game. You're talking about mine should have been the premium quality.
What?
I'm the one that won the game. You
won by 3 points. I got less things, and that's what you... Exactly.
Mine was a premium.
No, what it was is he got all the end-of-game bonus cards, which is what he always does. So that's what happened.
Hey,
your beer and bread was actually worth... Better. No. Your beer and bread portion was worth less. Overall, theme-wise, give it a score.
Yeah, I think it's, for what it is, from a farming standpoint, I think thematically it makes sense. I don't think there's anything that's really ties the cards specifically to the actions that are on them, but the art's fine on them. I'll probably go ahead and I'll give it a 7 again. I think it's fine for a farming game.
Yeah, I mean, so... All right, now let's move on to the rulebook.
Oh, did you give your score?
Well, I agreed with you.
Okay. All right, so the rulebook has a nice cover. It matches the art on the cover. And it's 12 pages long. The font is fairly small. I wish the font was a little bigger, but it's okay. It has pictures of all the different tokens and such in it, which I like to see, so you figure out what you are doing as far as making sure everything's there. You've got the setup. The setup's fine. The play of the game goes from page 4 to page 9, which goes through in detail how the play of the game works as far as the actions and the phases. This game's a little complicated in the sense that the different turns, each round has different quantities of pieces, and the actions are slightly different, but it's not bad. I would say this is probably a medium level game as for a 2-player game. And all in all, the rulebook does a good job of conveying everything. There wasn't any confusion when we played. It has a nice little overview of the different upgrades that you can put into play and of the game itself on the back. There's no cheat sheets for it, so you're reliant on the book for any of that. But all in all, I think it does a fine job. I'll give it a 7. It would be nice to have some cheat sheets with this for you to look at during the gameplay, but other than that, it's fine.
All right, so now let's talk about the actual gameplay. So you start out the hand with 5 cards. Now, it matters what round you're in, what you do with these cards. So the first round, it's actually kind of a drafting thing. So for an example, I'm going to end up playing my first card. Now, there's a couple of ways to play the card. If you'll notice, each card has 3 different things going on. It has the top, which is going to be your resources that you'll get if you play the card for the resources. However, those end up stacking. So for an example, if I had this card already played and I played this one, I would end up getting 2 hops and a water. So anything that's above it counts along with that, okay? So there's that. I can also, if I have the resources available to me, I can make the contract, so finish the contract. Or make the beer or bread, or I have a special ability. So if I use it for the special ability, I'll slide it maybe right here, depending on the symbol that's right here on this card. It tells me where it goes. You can have as many special abilities as you want, so you can do lots of cool things. So that is that. But like I said, the first round is a drafting style game. So I'm going to end up choosing one to see what I like. All right, so I'm going to use this for a special ability because it's super cool. Whenever you brew beer or bake bread, you may spend 2 wheat as either 1 hops or one of the Bailey, or barley, sorry, I pronounced that wrong, as often as you like, because I had a problem with, I always had too much wheat, not enough other stuff. Yeah. So that's my special ability that I ended up playing. Now I'm going to put the cards here so he can take those. So Randy's going to play.
I'm going to play this, and I'm going to get resources because I want resources. And the other thing about this game is you have limited resources. Each round, there's alternates between a wet season and a dry season. So this is a wet season, so there's a lot of produced. So I'm going to get a water and the orange wheat, whatever you want to call it.
Barley.
All right. So I'm taking those. And now in the future, if I play any more cards on here that have water and that orange wheat, I'll get to take not only the ones that are pictured on the card that I play, but anything on the previous card that matches. So I will get more resources and growth. And then on my board, I have to store these. And I've got a warehouse that stores, for some reason, on the roof, up to 9 resources. So I've got 2 resources stored now, so I can hold 7 more.
All right, so then we switch hands. All right, so let's see what we got going on. All right, so I'm going to play another special ability because I don't know what I'm doing here. I just figure I have so much fun. Oh, this one actually this one works out perfect. So whenever you remove only beer cards while cleaning your bakery, you collect the 2 wheat. So remember, I have that special ability with the wheat. Oh, but it's only beer cards. Maybe I don't want to do that. I'll do this end of game. For every 2 bread cards I'm sold, I get an extra thing. So we'll do this. For some reason, I like special abilities.
Mm-hmm. Well, I do too. I mean, that's engine building. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to play one for a special ability. This one gives me, at the end of the seeding phase, which is when we put the resources out, I get to take one of the orange wheats. Mm-hmm. So I keep calling it.
All right. Now I'm actually going to try to get me some resources.
About time.
But I will say it is, so when you
Did you swap hands?
Oh, nope, I did not.
Then you won't be doing that.
Nope, I will not be. I still will be, just differently. All right, so I'm going to take these resources. Now, the thing to keep in mind is essentially I am gathering the resources now, but I get this card next round. So I'm almost choosing my hand for the next game. Now, this only occurs during the drafting season, so just kind of keep that in mind. So basically, I'll get this card next round. So. All
right, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. So now I am going to get 2 water and 2 of the orange wheat because I have that already on both of those.
All right, now we're going to switch hands again. So let's see what I want to do. These are really good for me now. All right, so, I'm going to take 2 water. And 2 of these as well. Okay.
All right. If you ever run into a situation where you overflow your warehouse, you have to give any overflow. You get to choose which ones you keep, but you have to offer it to your opponent. So you want to be careful not to overflow as much as you can. But I'm going to go ahead and play this, and I'm going to get one of the hops and one of the twigs. I'm sure that's not what it actually is, but that's how I brew.
Okay. I'm going to use this as its special ability, which gives me another storage space.
I'm going to use mine as a special ability, which gives me when I collect hops during one of my harvest or and store actions, I collect an additional one. So I'm all about building up my resources.
Okay.
Which would be nice if I had a place to store them, but
All right, so now I have 2 cards. So I'm going to draw my hand up to 5. 1, 2, 3. So now I have 5 cards. Randy's going to do the same thing. He picks up this. He's got 3, so he's going to get another 2. Okay, so this is the can. Then we also flip over the top here.
Yep.
Now, anyone can choose to exchange what's in their hand for that, but they have to play it immediately. The wheat's only allowed to have 5. This is allowed to have 4. It has 4, so we're good here. We need 1 more for the yellow wheat, as Randy calls it, even though it's
orange, not yellow. This is yellow.
Yep. It's barley. And then you have 4 for the hops. Okay, then you refill your water. Your water always stays full.
It's already got all of it.
Does it?
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Because yours has more than mine.
This is all one river. We share the same river. It's just distributed differently.
Oh, okay.
Is it really bothering you? Now there's more on your side.
Exactly. I deserve more. Okay. All right. So now I have my 5 cards in my hand. And then I'm going to say, okay, you know what? So one thing that I can do, like I mentioned, is switch out. So I am going to automatically switch this up because I can automatically afford this. So I'm paying these 3. There you go. You can take these and put them. And then I'm going to place it here. I'm going to flip it down. Now, once I have a card here, I can't play another card until I clean the board. And I can clean the board by playing an upgrade, but we'll go from there.
Well, you can't play any cards onto specifically the beer.
On top of the beer. You can play a wheat.
Bread.
Yeah, we can do a bread, but because that space is currently taken until you wipe it.
Then we'll swap as well, because I'm filled with resources and I don't want to overflow. Ooh, that's it. Now we'll put this one up here, and I can choose to make, I got more bread potential making over here, so we'll get this one. And I'm going to make this one, I get 2 water, hops. Oh, wait a minute, I can't do that one. We'll swap for this one instead. I can't do this one. So I got a water, one of these, and 3 of the orange wheat. So I get to complete this. It's bread. It goes on my bread house, which is this one.
Okay. All right. I'm going to trade for the one he didn't want. No, it's this one. Because I would like it. All right. So I'm going to place it here because I want the resources. So I'm going to take this one and an orange and put it here.
All right. I am going to continue my empire of collecting resources, and I'm going to put this down here, and I'm going to get the same abilities I got with hops with yellow wheat.
Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to play.
Man, I can't slide them under. This is my biggest grievance with the game, is this end of the table.
That's where you just.
You need something. I almost need something to elevate it. Maybe we can do. Put the rule book.
We're doing some initiation here.
That's still not quite enough. Almost.
Okay. All right. So then I'm going to play my second card. I'm going to get 2 of these, 1 of these. All right, babe, you're up.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and play this one because it's got the sticks and the hops, which now I'll get 1 stick. But since I have this card here, whenever I collect hops, I get 2. So I will get 2 hops.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to play an upgrade so I can clear out my card here. So I get this special ability, but I also get to wipe it and put it over here in the discard pile. So, Randy, you're up now.
Oh, yes. I'm going to go ahead and put an in-game scoring card down there as well. So whenever I sell, or if you sold at least 1 card of each type of bread, I get 2 extra coins at the end of the game, which is victory points.
All right, then I'm going to complete this card here. So I have 2 water, a hops, 2 of these, and a wheat. Here we go.
All right.
So this gets played down. All right.
And again, I'm going to upgrade here. So now I'm going to have get 2 for every sticks too. So now I've got almost every type of resource under the sun I will be getting mass production for.
Yeah. Now, one of the key things is, so now it's the end of the round. So you look to determine who's first player. So we didn't do this in between first and second round, but you're supposed to look at how many resources that they have. Whoever has the least amount of resources takes first player.
Mm-hmm.
So just keep that in mind.
If there's a tie, it switches to the person who didn't have it the previous round.
This is a 2-player game, so that's cool. Anyway, so I would keep it and will continue playing the game. So the only thing is at the end of the game, everything's scored. You calculate your end of scoring.
But you only get the score for the one that you have the fewest points in.
Right. So your final score is based on you calculate your beer score, you calculate your bread score, and the lowest is the winner. which I like. So you have to keep it balanced. You just can't focus just on beer or just on bread. This is a 2-player game, and I think it works out great.
Yeah.
We don't see a lot of 2-player games that I think we both like or enjoy. I can think of one on the top of my head. Because most of the time it's not complicated enough. I think this gives us something.
Yeah, this one's meaty. I mean, it's got a nice engine building aspect to the game. It's got some variable, actions going on during the game.
And it's meant to be 2-player.
Exactly. It's
which is one of your biggest grievances of some other games. So
yeah, I mean, I like the fact that, there's a lot to thinking as far as you're playing about the scoring and how you've got to keep them balanced, but then you're also dependent on the mercy of the deck because it's just shuffled together with half being beer and half being bread.
Yeah.
And you're passing the cards back and forth, so you can't concentrate on everything. There's a lot of things to focus on because it's I want this card, but I'm going to have to give it up.
Well, and then it's like, okay, well, sometimes you pay it for the resources so you can keep the card for next round where you don't have to give it up, right? Like, there's calculation because you got to calculate. So on the drafting rounds, okay, if I can play it, maybe I can keep it for next round, right? Or playing it as a thing. So there's a lot of thought. And then on the second round, so, round 1 and 2 are very different. And then, that kind of repeats, but it kind of gives you this variety that you need. And I like, because most of the time 2 players are like versus, like we're battling each other. No, we're just making bread. So I really appreciate this as a 2-player. Definitely on the medium weight. I really enjoyed it. I really liked it. I don't know. What are you thinking for score?
I like all the pieces of it. It still feels, it feels like it's one of the Euros we would normally really like, but still a little dumbed down, which is the one grievance I have with a lot of these small box games. But this one's better than most of them. I'm probably going to go ahead and give it an 8 because it is a small box game. It is fairly quick to play. But it still has the feel of the heavier Euros that we like.
Right, and it's meant for 2 players. So I don't feel bad about taking this on a trip for us and us being okay with the game.
Yeah, that's the other thing. It is board. I'm going to give it 8.5 because of the fact that it's board.
Right, this is something you can easily put in a book bag, put in a suitcase, and you guys, you can play it in a hotel. It doesn't take a huge amount of room. I think this works out great this definitely has a niche. And I definitely see us taking this somewhere.
Just bring something to prop up the edge of the board so you can slide the cards under.
Well, normally they have a pad of paper at the hotel. You can just, whatever. So overall, I'm agree with you. I think an 8.5 was really good for this game. I think it works out well. I think it's got a lot of interesting mechanics. I like the fact that each round kind of shifts and that it allows you to kind of plan for the future, but yet you've got this drafting, so it seems a little more fair than, I like it. I like it. So. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We had an absolute blast. Hopefully you can hang out with us again. We'll catch you guys later.
Bye.